of any sign of joy or vitality. I was not even allowed to take one photograph of my daughters, and I was searched like a criminal before the meeting. Such degradation, so much for Saudi promises. Chelsea Clinton and my daughter Ollie are the same age. Chelsea has a bright future ahead of her and an education at Stanford. Ollie has an arranged marriage and multiple serial pregnancies and a life behind closed doors to look forward to. Did you know Saudi women can never leave that country without the permission of a male relative? No exit visa is ever granted to a Saudi woman alone, whether she is 9 or 90. My daughters can never leave. I had to get on an airplane and leave my daughters in that desert. I have never recovered from that. No contact has been allowed before or after that one meeting. They remain locked up, hostages, and incommunicado with the entire Western world. Their father and the Saudi government has them behind closed doors and walls and kept under lock and key. Ambassador Mavis tried to get them out. He made appointments with most of the major princes. The Saudi Foreign Ministry sent a diplomatic note stating they would allow the girls to come to the U.S. for the summer of 1996. Ambassador Mavis gave an order to the embassy in Riyadh to hold all the visas of my ex-husband's family to the U.S. In the meantime, a relative came to the embassy for a visa, a general in the Saudi National Guard, which is controlled by the Crown Prince. The visa was denied. The general was angry and went to the Crown Prince's office when Ambassador Mavis was there. He begged the ambassador for a visa, and he stated he would die if he didn't get the visa. He needed treatment for cancer. The American ambassador stated he would give him a visa with the stipulation that when he came back from the U.S., the pressure would be put on my ex-husband to release my daughters. After the relative got back to the kingdom, he never returned the calls of the American embassy. The Crown Prince was impressed that the American ambassador saved the life of one of his generals and promised he would assist in getting the girls home. He even appointed one of his assistants to help Ambassador Mavis. Unfortunately, Ambassador Mavis resigned about 2 weeks after that incident. Ray told me, "Don't worry, Pat, the new ambassador will help you. I'll brief him fully. We'll get them out." That was May 1996. Ray Mavis left Riyadh, and the embassy never followed through with the Crown Prince's assistant or the Foreign Affairs Ministry. The new incoming U.S. ambassador was Weishfaller Jr., former U.S. Senator from Georgia, a man who lobbied very hard for that job. He was fully briefed by Ray Mavis before he even went to Saudi Arabia. I faxed him a long letter outlining exactly what had been done and the progress with the Crown Prince, Foreign Ministry, and visa restrictions. He never returned my calls and never acknowledged me or my plight. I happened to by chance be connected to him by telephone one night, and he treated me like an impertinent schoolgirl who had the gall to bother such a busy, prominent person like the U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia with such trivial problems like rescuing 2 girls. Mr. Fowler has been in Saudi Arabia for almost 1 year now, and due to his very evident refusal to get involved at all, we lost all our momentum and all the progress that was made under Ambassador Mavis, all the progress for the last 11 years. In the 11 years of my lobbying, I have met many, many American women whose only mistake was to have married a Saudi national and had children. The torture and pain I've watched my friends go through is not even human. My friend Monica, her son and daughter raped by male relatives, beaten and burned by a stepmother. The boy finally escaped. The girl, 14 years old, now has been sold to a Saudi extremist, a religious policeman. Monica and the girl are living in a back room like animals, hiding out. Monica is due to be deported from Saudi Arabia at any time. The daughter will be dragged away and enslaved to the religious policeman. The girl stated she will kill herself if this marriage takes place and her mother is deported. Mr. Fowler refused to even talk to Monica. The embassy has distanced themselves and turned her away. This is one of the worst cases of human rights abuses I've ever seen. My attorney is planning on assisting my friend also with whatever he can do to save her and her daughter. My friend Kim, she had 2 sons and was forced to leave Riyadh and told she had to decide which one to leave behind. A Sophie's choice no mother should ever have to make. She never saw the boy again. My friend Christine, who managed to escape with her 2 children to Kuwait, only for them to be violently kidnapped from the United States. She was jailed by the governor of Riyadh when she was allowed to see her children again years later. My friend Laura, whose 2 daughters were kidnapped, and she was never allowed to see them for 9 years. They were both married off at 15 and mothers at 16. My friend Vicky, whose daughter Nora was kidnapped on her 5th birthday. He took the child and every photo Vicky had of the girl, never seen again. My friend Joy, she managed to escape with her daughter Sarah last year and now had to change her name and is living underground in hiding in fear that the Saudis will find her and re-kidnap Sarah. My friend Deborah, whose little girl was kidnapped, and she finally got her back on U.S. soil, only to have her ex-husband pay a U.S. judge to give him custody, knowing full well that Deborah would never see her little girl again. She watched as her daughter was put on an airplane and taken away from her forever. And finally, my friend Sarah, who drowned in the Red Sea a few years ago on a rescue mission with a mercenary trying to rescue her children from that barbarous region. How much more do these mothers have to go through before the U.S. government stops its torture and pain and tells these countries to let our children go? Is this oil for children? This is not about Saudi law. This is about American law, a mockery of the U.S. justice system. What they have done is against all of God's laws. My friends, my family, and I have suffered enough. A broken heart still beats. Let my children go.
Stay here, stay here. Any questions? We plan on meeting with Senator Boxer. We've met with Senator Boxer already earlier today. We have appointments with some of the top people with Senator Helms, and we'll be meeting with Senator Feinstein. Basically what we're asking them to do is to go back to the drafting boards, perhaps even set up a commission for the cracks and the loopholes that the Saudi government has been able to slip through as far as this case. This is the longest abduction case that has gone without any conclusion. We are also asking the senators to make Madeleine Albright, the Secretary of State, involved in this directly, and for an appointment to be scheduled with the President of the United States. It is our opinion that anything short of a direct meeting between President Clinton and King Fahd will just be a lot of diplomacy and a lot of letter pushing in Washington, D.C. That's what has been going on for the past 11 years. There is oil and military installations being brokered for our daughters, nothing short of that.
What is your response to the offer of the Saudis to arrange for another meeting between your client and her daughter?
My client fears going back to Saudi Arabia, and justified. She went there, like I said, and was allowed to meet with her girls only for 2 hours after being holed up in a hotel room with a full escort by the Saudi government. My client will do whatever she has to do to be reunited with her daughters. If it means going back to Saudi Arabia, she would. We, of course, prefer that the meeting place be placed on neutral ground. Now, her ex-husband undoubtedly fears the international warrants and Interpol red alerts that are out for his arrest. We are willing to remove those warrants so that we can meet in a neutral country, even a country that has not signed on to the Hague Convention, or even a country that has signed on to it but is willing to release this case and give it a diplomatic status. We will meet them in any territory, in any country, at any time. This mother needs to be with her daughters, and as expressed in the last meeting nearly 2 years ago, these daughters need to be with their mother. These are American citizens. They have rights. They are not being respected. I have asked the State Department for a meeting. I have not heard from them. I know there was a briefing on this yesterday. My client has met with Assistant Secretary of State, has met with a lot of officials in the past 11 years. This has gone beyond the diplomatic letter writing and handshakes and media opportunities for these politicians. We need Madeleine Albright, we need President Clinton, we need our elected officials to help this American mother. Thank you very much.